All right, folks, what is good? This is episode 68 of the VF Cast. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about gaming and everything under that umbrella. And basically, it's been a journey. As the days, weeks, months, years go by, you look back and you see how everything has evolved from gaming. I mean, look, I am getting up there in age. I don't look that old, but I'm getting up there. And I'll just put it like this. I've been gaming since the late 80s. So I'm up there in age. So with that being said, it's like how things have changed and how things are moving as I continue to collect games and maintaining it, and what does it all mean? What is it all for? Why am I doing this? I haven't really answered that question personally. I haven't really looked into it. All I know is I love video games. I love playing these games. I love enjoying them. But I wanted to take this episode to really sit down and really and think about this. So most of the stuff I'm talking about here is basically off the cuff. It's not much that I've really thought about. So as soon as I get going, it is straight off the top of my head when it comes to maintaining and living the life of a gamer. Because most people don't realize, like, yeah, this is a getaway from real life, but you got to understand this is your life. If you're doing this, this is your life. And it's one of the best hobbies to have, in my opinion. It's one of the safest hobbies to have. It's one of the most expensive hobbies to have if you're not careful. But all in all, keeping a collection and balancing life and really understanding what you have in front of you really makes things it makes things in your order very stress free and chill. I want to give you a little of my thoughts and opinions on all of this. Basically, I really started collecting games um probably around the Dreamcast, original Xbox era, PS2, soon like the sixth generation, because the first few generations I was a part of, like I said, I've been gaming since the 80s. I was younger. I never really thought about, keeping a collection of games. I didn't have a place to put them. I was living with my mom at the time, so I didn't have a place to put them. But once I started, having my own place, going off to college, and I started purchasing games like out of my own pocket, I really didn't want to let them go. So the thing about collecting, like I tell everybody all the time, like I did other videos when I talked about preserving games, buying games that you want, buy games that you want to have. Do not just collect stuff just to collect it. You'll go insane doing that. So I bought most of the games that I have are games that I truly wanted, and some other games I was just curious about. And the games that I really wanted, I wanted those to keep them, unless if I, grown old or grow tired of them, and then I'll sell them off, or if I run into a duplicate copy of, and I know somebody who wanted it, I end up selling it or trading it off to somebody. But every game that I have in this room, every game, every console that I have, this is something that I wanted. I did not want something that just for collection purposes. Everything in here I play to some extent or at some time. So, and I think that's one thing is good as far as maintaining a collection. You have some people here, and I don't knock them, don't get me wrong. They will collect every aspect of a console, or they try to collect everything gamer related. And I don't see how they do it. I don't know. I don't know how they do it. It's really weird how, in my opinion, I think it's weird to do something like that, to try to collect every aspect of like the Nintendo 64, which, if I really wanted to, I could probably get every game on the Nintendo 64. The library is not that big, but I find it weird, like when people do that, then they get the whole inbox collection, like they get all the cardboard boxes. There's no way I can do that. But once the sixth generation came, I knew there was something that I wanted to do. Every game that I wanted to be in their cases. I don't do the loose CDs and stuff. So I am a little, I guess, a little contradictory of that. But nevertheless, um, it can be a struggle maintaining, a collection, because sometimes, there's games that you really want to play, but you can't play right now. And then when you don't have time to play the games and you look back and you're like, man, I'm so busy and I can't play this, that, and the third because I got life going on, my wife, my son, work and family obligations and going out to see extended family and doing other things that are outside of work. It is so much sometimes. But one thing that you can do if you are, if you're single, this really may not apply to you because you may be on a go all the time, but you will have some downtime as a single person. But if you have a significant other, one thing that you have to do is be responsible. One thing that is the main thing. Just don't let this stuff consume you to the point where your significant other looking at you side eye like, oh, you really gonna buy that, but you don't want to do anything else as far as the household and everything. That's just basic stuff 101. Some people, I know some friends of mine who got carried away with collecting stuff and they got their priorities mixed up. So that is something that you're gonna have to, that just me personally, I believe that just goes without saying, so that is something that's a really a big deal when I talk to fellow gamers. Sometimes they talk about sacrifice and they talk about should they get this over doing that. They're like, no, if you want to maintain the collection, this should be the last thing that you put your money into. Like seriously, you should take care of everything else first. And if there's a 50, 60, 70, $100 game that you want, you can't get it right now. Your best bet is to save up and wait to get that money. Forget about fear of missing out. You're never going to miss out if you're a collector. You're never going to miss out on anything if you're a collector. And if you feel like you're missing out on it, it's probably not for you anyway. So to maintain a collection, you have to be really, mindful of doing those type of things, like really prioritizing what you have to do as far as getting the games that you want. Sometimes, for me, there's some games I had to wait for some years to get, not only just because they were, I was not able to get them because of other obligations, but sometimes these games were like mad expensive. I've gotten some games that are, my wife knows about this now, but games that are $200, $300, $400 that I purchased, but I've been very meticulous. Like I wanted to wait. Okay, I'll put $50 here, $70 there, $20 there, and I'll wait till it adds up. And that money that I put away, okay, I go get that $200, $300 game. Some of these retro games are very expensive, and some people are like, I'm not paying that much money for a game out. And look, I don't expect anyone to pay that kind of money. But if you really want it, you will make a way. Like some people really look at it as if, they can't do it. Anything is possible. I don't care what anybody say. You put your mind to it, you set out a goal and do it, you could get it done. But if it's really out of your reach, it's probably not for you anyway. And when I mean really out of your reach, it's like you literally cannot save up to get this. You have other priorities, you have other things to do to actually, take care of before this game and stuff. So it is, it's vital that you, maintain and deal with that stuff first. Once you get that stuff established, then you could come back into the game collectible market. It's really that simple. So I always find myself in some type of situation to where I'm just not going to buy a certain game right now. There's a few games I haven't bought yet that I really want. And it's just going to be okay because like at the end of the day, if you're collecting, even if for one console or for 7 consoles or for 20 consoles, you're always going to have something to play. So you're never going to, like I said, a collector's never going to have an issue of missing out on anything because you can go back and play the plethora of games you already have now as if you've been collecting. Even if you have, 20 games, trust me, unless if you're a guy that just constantly sit in front of the game all day and just play, you may run through those 20 games, but you'll find other ways to play games. There's so many avenues to play different games now. You're not going to be missing out on much. And if you feel like you're missing out on those certain things, you will put the time and the effort in to get whatever you feel like you're missing out on. At the end of the day, it's all about discipline. That's basically what it is. It's about discipline. It's about what you want to prioritize. You prioritize your needs and your necessities and your important stuff. Then you double back to getting the games that you want. So maintaining the collection is not easy, trust me, because if you really love this hobby, you're gonna be running into some things. But for the most part, you can get it done. It's not that big of a deal if you really have your ducks in a row. If you don't have your ducks in a row, don't participate in this because you can really be into some financial trouble because a lot of these games aren't cheap. Even when you look at games that are 40, 50, $60, that stuff adds up at the time. And before you know it, $3 $40 games, that could be a bill that you have in your house and you need to go ahead and take care of that. So it's basically just that simple. Because like I said, I've known some people who do it. I've known people who've done it, and it's not a pretty sight when you just don't have your stuff together. So the main thing is to maintain. So just maintain what you have to do because I love this hobby and I won't give it up for anything. And there's some things that if I have to give it up, it has to be something very, very dire. I have a companion, my wife, she's very supportive. She's always told me just straight up, like, as long as you maintain what you have to do in this house, I don't care what you buy. And that's basically how it's been going, and I recommend that to you. Like, if you got your ducks in a row in the house or wherever you live, or you're not like struggling or anything, have at it. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. You work hard, you play hard, you earn the money, go out and do it. But the main thing is do it responsibly. Do it responsibly because it can be a hassle. I mean, it can be a hassle when you are not able to maintain your lifestyle over this gaming. And the gaming can be a lifestyle. This is like, I know for me, this is a lifestyle for me. I love doing this. I love doing the YouTube channel, which adding the YouTube channel to your gaming habit is a totally different is a different beast on what I'm talking about now. I'm just talking about for the average person who just want to play games. And it's a lifestyle. It is something that you can, really be consumed in, but at the same time, it's very satisfying and rewarding. Now, before I get out of here, let's talk about the rewarding side of collecting. Once you got past all that stuff I talked about, and you got your ducks in the row, you're financially set, you got your stuff together, and you want to buy and collect some games, whether it be for the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, whatever console you want to play on. When you start collecting those games, you're gonna have a big appreciation not only for those games but just gaming in general. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't really have nowadays. They want stuff right now. They want to play online. They feel like they're very entitled. But I love game collectors because they have an appreciation for all of this. The physical copies, even some of the digital copies, just going in and playing the games that they purchased and knowing that after all the things you've done, as far as working hard and getting yourself together and getting all this stuff in order so you can come home every day and just kick back and get on the couch or get in your computer desk and play your games, whether it be even from PC or all the way to the Atari. Just to play any game that you want to play is very satisfying. Because you feel like you are being rewarded for all the hard work you've put in for the past week, 2 weeks, month, whenever you get the time to sit down. And this is why on this channel, you see why I have such an appreciation for the games I talk about or the things I buy or the things that I do, is because I've come a long way to where I go out every morning, early morning, go to work, and I do so much throughout this entire, region that I work in. And when I come home, I spend time with my family, come in here and I relax. I'll probably, pop a game in, I'll do a video or two, do my podcast on my other channel, and it is all worth it. And now, another thing that goes along with this gaming collection, my son, he's growing up now, and he's starting to get into these games, and he's starting to understand what daddy does and how I do things, and he's starting to learn a level of responsibility. So it's kind of like a trickle down effect to where it's not just, oh, I'm going to be cool with my friends and play games because it's cool to play with them. No, he's looking at it from a standpoint where these games mean something. These games mean a lot. These are all of these things up here. This little bit of uh this little bit of games right here that I have to the hundreds of games I have over there. These are works of art. They're beautiful works of art. Glitches, bugs, non-patched, patch games, all of them are absolutely a beautiful work of art, and I love every bit of them. I love every bit of it. Even the bad games that I have, the good games that I have, the ones that I don't really think about too much, to the ones I think about all the time. These are some great. This is a great piece of technology that a lot of people, nowadays they kind of take for granted, and it kind of sucks that they take it for granted because it is one thing that is one piece of interactive media that is probably the best and probably the most unique. And I don't think this type of interactive media can't be replicated. I mean, the other places have tried with the Wii and the Activator and the Connect and VR, but I don't. Those things are a little above beyond my scope of enjoyment. Sometimes I just like to sit down, pick up a controller, look at the screen, and just interact with the world that's in that screen. And knowing that I have my hands on all of this stuff here that I've collected and I'm able to basically play video games for the rest of my life. If I don't buy another game today, I have enough games for the rest of my living days. And I think that's another thing that I feel like I'm accomplished. I feel like my collection is complete because I've picked up every game that I want. And I look down the road, there may be a few games that I know that I genuinely want to buy. But if I don't get to those games, I have enough to be entertained forever. And I think that's one of the most important things of this whole collecting, situation. After getting, I got 21 consoles. I have thousands of games back there, a few thousand. It's not nothing to brag about. It's just that I know this is my passion and I know I love it and I want to maintain it. And I want to be responsible while doing it. And I think I'm at the point, like I said, I've been gaming since the 80s. I feel like I've made it to the point where I am just that responsible and able to have these games forever. As long as I live. I don't have to worry about, something may happen and that, I won't be able to play games anymore unless if I physically cannot able to do so. Now, the flip side to this, and I'm going to close with this. Don't ever put yourself in a situation. I mean, things happen, but just try your best not to put yourself in a situation where you have to give all this stuff up when times are hard. You want to give this up when you're just tired of doing it. I know some people who got rid of like one or two of their console collections. I know somebody got rid of their Sega Genesis collection. Somebody else got rid of their PlayStation 1 collection. And sometimes it's okay to downsize, and it's cool. I don't have a problem with that at all. This is one reason why after like the original Xbox, I started collecting for original Xbox, and I'm almost about 60% of the entire I'm about at 60% of the entire library of the Xbox. But I told myself I need to stop just buying these Xbox games because they're Xbox games. And I need to just buy the games that I want. And then I turn around and buy these two games, but these games probably games I don't want, but they were like $2. But hypocrite, yeah, I know. But I know I'll probably end up playing and completing those games. I mean, I didn't really want them, but they were just too cheap. But nevertheless, make sure you buy games that you want, because I never wanted to be in a situation where I have to give up these games because I'm tired of them, and I don't want to give up games because I'm in a financial jam. So I also find this collection as motivation to keep myself on point as far as being financially capable of maintaining all of this. So it is always it's so many. I ain't gonna say it's always, it's so many aspects of collecting these games. Once it's a fun factor, it's a responsibility factor, it's a maintaining factor, and it just, I'll say it again, is a responsibility factor, because you want to be responsible and keep the things that you buy. You don't want to be in a situation where it's you got it and then something happens. Life happens. I'm not saying it would never happen. I may be in that situation. I think I was in that situation before with I think it was back in 2010. I had to get rid of some of my Dreamcast games. It wasn't much of them, but I had to get rid of some of them, and I ended up getting most of them back. But it was some of them I just felt like I didn't want to get anymore. But I just put it like this: some of these Dreamcast games were expensive, and even for 2010 they were expensive, and I ended up getting hundreds of dollars for them. But I needed the money at the time, so I did get rid of those games. But I think recently, I think a couple of months ago, I think I got the last, or I think it's like two more games left that I did sell at the time, but I don't think I'm gonna pick those back up. I think I'm good on them, but most of the games I got back. So it was it happens. But to maintain a collection, it just is discipline and responsibility at the end of the day. Even if you're single or if you have a significant other, you gotta be maintained by being responsible. Because if you really love this hobby, you're not going to let stuff like that get in the way. You're just not. I mean, like I said, life happens, but most of the time it's a lot of what we do to ourselves. And that's a whole nother story for another day. So this is episode 68 of the VF Cast. I just wanted to go a little bit under the surface of gaming with this one. Hopefully you guys hung around. If you do like this episode, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys for all the support on the videos. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to get up out of here. Let's go check on my wife and my son. They're in the other room. We'll see what they're doing. And I'll see you on the next video that I'll put up. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Y'all take it easy. All right, y'all. Peace.